Cold streets of Moscow are a long way from the shores of Cyprus, but a huge amount of Russian money is now hostage to the fortunes of a small island in the Mediterranean. Russian banks have loaned Cypriot-based Russian companies $30 to $40 billion. Analysts warn that the Russian economy could take a hit if a sickly Cyprus needed to block loan repayments.
If Cyprus were to do that, this means that Russian banks will not be able to get back these $40 billion of loans that they have extended to Cypriot entities, albeit being a Russian entities. They are legally registered in Cyprus. So $40 billion, if $40 billion were to be lost, this would amount to a much more significant 2% of GDP, and this would really be a non-trivial amount.
Russian citizens hold an estimated $26 billion in Cypriot deposits. That's more than Cyprus's entire GDP. And there's suspicion in Europe that much of it is so-called black money. That explains why the EU is reluctant to issue a bailout that would rescue Russian depositors. It would rather they pick up some of the bill. Russia's banks, businesses and businessmen, some of them shadier than others, have been enjoying Cyprus's lax regulation and low taxation for years. And the message coming from the EU is that if Russia has invested so much in Cyprus, then Russia has a role to play in helping Cyprus out. The EU hopes Russia will extend a $3.3 billion bilateral loan to Cyprus. When the island's finance minister visits Moscow later this week, he's likely to come cap in hand. But it's not clear how generous Russia will be feeling. Robin Forestier-Walker, Al Jazeera, Moscow.